Hi, and welcome back. A few people didn't like the animated waveform display for my voiceover, but I've still no intention of appearing on camera, so I thought I'd try this spectrogram instead. Let me know if you like that better. Anyway, part 2 of my FabFilter tutorial about loudness has just gone up, and predictably there are a few naysayers. Specifically, lots of DJs are telling me that EDM masters need to have average levels up at -6 LUFS, otherwise they can't get loud enough, or they're inconsistent with other masters that are up at those levels, or that they simply lack the punch and energy if mastered quieter. So let's examine those claims one by one. First of all, can't get loud enough. What? You're playing through a PA system, for God's sake. Just turn it up. You don't need fake artificial loudness when you've got thousands of watts of amplification driving dozens of speakers. I mean, you're probably way too loud already anyway. As a live engineer, if my console wasn't in an ideal location, I would walk out into the crowd mid-song to judge my mix. Otherwise, I could be sucking badly out there, and I'd never know. If your DJ booth is not ideally placed to judge how loud the PA stacks are, walk out to check, or you're not doing your job properly. And if you're too big a name DJ to mingle with the crowds, you can delegate the job to someone else, right? Otherwise, you're damaging your audience's hearing, and if they're too wasted to realise, that doesn't absolve you of any responsibility. And you're making the live engineers forced to listen to you while packing up the gig that's just ended despise you deeply and profoundly. While we're on the subject, if you don't know how to use a DJ mixer properly, when I'm talking about setting a basic gain structure here, not advanced effects features, what are you doing even calling yourself a DJ? That's like a guitarist that hasn't bothered to learn how to tune their instrument. Okay, let's talk about consistency. DJs need all their tracks to be at the same level because they don't know how to use the DJ mixer. I mean, every channel has a gain trim and a fader, and there's a master volume as well. Which part do you not understand? This is like a guitarist requesting that all songs just stay in C major so he doesn't have to move his fingers. As a live engineer, I would routinely mix bands with 32 channels coming from the stage, sometimes even more. If I was in monitor world, I might have to create up to a dozen separate monitor mixes and keep every musician on stage happy at the same time. You want sympathy because you can't manage one stereo channel? Okay, last one. Quieter mixes don't have the punch and energy of louder mixes. But that's just not true. In fact, the truth is exactly the opposite. With less limiting, your EDM tracks will have punchier kicks, more infectious grooves, more rousing build-ups. And as a bonus, they won't be so likely to kill the PA system. Yes, that's right. You thought limiting your peaks was protecting the PA system from overs? I'm afraid you were doing the opposite. In fact, power amplifiers are quite good at recreating short, loud peaks without clipping. They will usually be happy to exceed their rated output for brief transients. And PA speaker drivers will usually handle those gracefully as well. As a live engineer, I could push the PA right to its limits with a live band and rarely have any issues. Then the idiot DJ would start playing, and those flat-topped, stupidly limited and clipped waveforms would rip through speaker drivers like butter, regardless of how conservatively I set the limiters on the PA system controllers. Seriously, DJs, if you didn't play such badly mastered material and consistently burn out drivers, the venues could actually afford to pay you more. This has turned into more of an anti-DJ rant than I intended, but honestly, I think it's totally justified. I mean, electronic dance music. There's a clue in the name. It's music for dancing to. The rhythms are the most important element. Yet you're telling me this is the one genre where it's absolutely critical that you remove any trace of a transient from the final master. Dumbest thing I ever heard. That's all. Thanks for watching.